we go. Wow.
Hello, welcome to the Money School with LaShawne. Thank you so much for showing up today. I am going to wait a couple minutes for people to get on here so I can see you on the Chromecast. How are you guys doing? I feel like so much goes on during the week between the times that we talk. A lot of times I want to get on in the middle of the week to talk about some things, but anyway, today I actually was doing some reading and I had some clients that needed my attention because they were stuck in some things that they were doing. Let's see. Who do I see? I get so excited when I see the same people every week. I know my nieces are on here. Hey, Deandra. Hey, Tashana.
There's Robin. Hey, Robin.
Hey, Robin. Hey, Erica.
Yep. Pop up in the middle of the week. We are here for it.
Deandra, if it was up to you, I would live my life doing Facebook Live. Hi, Kamisha. How are you? Hi, Erica. Again, I'm probably going to have to put my glasses on so I can see all the way over there. All I can read is hello.
That's good enough. That's all you need to see.
Hi, Vicky. Hey, Brittany.
Brittany. Yep.
Ebony, how are you? Anyway, thank you guys for showing up. I don't plan on being on here very long, so we want to get to the point. So what are we talking about today?
What did you tell me the title was? See, this is what happens when your wife grabs you like 2 minutes before we going live and says, I want you with me tonight on Facebook Live.
That's because I'm doing a little skit, right? Because I need to be able to show you some things. And so oftentimes when people, you know, especially people that have been in our community for a while who never have like pulled the trigger to really, really work with us. Here, grab one of these. I'm going to show you what it looks like. And so a lot of times I talk about knowing where you are, like with your financial compass. And so you may be here, but these are your dreams. These are your dreams are over there. You know, the things that you want to do in life, the outcomes, the results, the transformation is over there. And so in order for you to get from here, where you are today, to where you want to be, there's a gap, right? And this area is, you know, in the gap. Thank you. He's here to assess.
My job is done.
No, it's not. No, it's not. And so, but that's what the picture looks like. And so oftentimes people are not aware that there really is a gap that you have to build a bridge over, that you have to fill in. And so it's, you know, when you look at where you are, you know, financially, where your financial compass is, and positioning is so important. That's why, you know, even when you think about it in the Garden of Eden, when after Eve and Adam had partaken of the tree, which God told them don't touch anything on the tree, he says, Adam, where are you? Not that he didn't know where Adam was.
Right.
He wanted Adam to know where Adam was.
Right.
And so it's Adam, where are you? And so knowing your location, where you are financially is very important.
And not just where you are physically, right? But mentally, spiritually.
That's right.
All those things. Where are you?
Because, you know, money has zones, right? And so inside of Abundance Attraction, we teach the 4 different zones of money. And so money has a mental zone, money has an emotional zone, money has a spiritual zone, and then all of those, the emotional, the mindset, and the spiritual make up what we see in the physical with money. And so and those are the zones that we talk a lot about inside of, actually there's a whole entire module dedicated to that inside of Abundance Attraction. But you know, where you want to get to, which is what I call your wealthy life. And so you have to identify what your bridge is to help you pass over through the gap, right? And so we've been talking a lot about bringing back Black Wall Street 2.0. What does that look like? I told you last week, I'm not going to let my foot up off of it. I guess this has probably been over a month now that we've been talking about it. But listen, your job is to grow and invest in the gap.
All right. Say that again.
Your job is to grow and invest in the gap. And so money mastery is nothing more than daily habits of minding the gap. Remember, we talked about, we did a Facebook Live called MYOB, Mind Your Own Business. And so money mastery is nothing more than you daily, consistently developing and being disciplined enough to have the habits of minding the gap. Minding the gap means doing whatever I need to do that's going to get me in the path to be able to get to what my transformation, get to the results that I want, get to, my dreams and how I want to live my life. And so there are two ways that you can do this. And I often tell people, like, money is black and white. There's no mystery. There's no gray area with it.
My money's green.
There's only two ways that you can really transform or change your money. It's either earn more or spend less. I am not into the budgets.
And let me just say, LaShawne has been teaching that principle alone for over 20 years.
For over 20
You've been talking about there's two ways to do this.
Two ways that you can do it.
Right? Decrease what's going out,
Yep.
or increase what's coming in. And we've been a firm believer of increasing what's coming in, because in this day and time, certain expenses are fixed.
Certain expenses
just to survive, right? Cell phone. Okay, well,
and
it's debatable.
Here's why this is important. Because it's important because right now, our people's salaries are stagnant. Yeah. And so they're not even increasing at the rate of inflation.
Inflation is outpacing.
That's right. Inflation is outpacing what you're making, and people aren't paying attention.
Yep.
But again, there are only two ways, that you can really shift your money, and that is to increase your income or decrease your outflow. I did not, and I tell people this all the time, I didn't get out of debt by getting on a budget. That's just my story.
Right.
You can live within a limited budget if you want to. That is not my flow.
Not when we serve a limitless God.
Right. I'm not your chick to teach you how to budget. And so, your income is meant to buy assets that fund your lifestyle. And I'm going to keep saying it probably until the day that I go home to be with Jesus. Yeah. Your income is meant to buy assets that fund your lifestyle. And so one of the reasons why people struggle so much is because they're trying to create their dream life off of earned income, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work because you end up you're getting paid 50% money because so much of your money goes out in taxes with earned income. Yeah. And so you don't get to partake in. There are over 350 different deductions for business owners. You don't get to partake of that when you're only in the E quadrant, meaning you only have earned income. And so, your income is meant to be able to buy assets that fund your lifestyle. And so if you fund your lifestyle with your earned income, you will always be enslaved to your 9 to 5. You'll always be enslaved to your job, which, I heard years ago someone called it JOB. Job means just over broke. And just so you know, you can't dabble in wanting to create Black Wall Street 2.0. Yeah. You can't dabble in wanting to build wealth. Dabblers don't win victories.
Come on,
you cannot go half-hearted in this. You got to be all in or go home. Like, it just doesn't work like that. And so people who are interested in building wealth never invest, or people who dabble, right? Or just are interested. They're not really committed to it. They're just interested in building wealth. Never invest in the gap, but they will waste money in the gap. They won't invest in the gap, but they'll waste money in the gap. Investing in the gap looks like this. You not only have to invest with your dollars, you have to invest with your time. You have to invest, not just with your time, you got to invest with your energy also. And so when you waste money in the gap, it's the same as not investing in the gap. When you waste money in the gap, you pay for a program, but you don't finish all the modules in the program, and you still expect to be a part of the 2 Comma Club.
So invest also means sacrifice.
It means sacrifice.
Right? You're going to have to give up something. Hey, Denise, we saw Denise pop in. Just wanted to say, hey, Denise crew, we love you. We miss you.
Yeah, and so you were saying?
Yeah, so sacrifice is a part of investing, right? It's not just making the initial investment to invest in a program to spend the money to get access to that program. You may have to sacrifice a Saturday or a birthday party or something that you normally do. You may have to sacrifice that in order to spend the time to invest in the gap.
Right. And so when you invest in the gap, it's this. When you waste in the gap, it's the same as not investing in the gap, because you don't have the daily habits of minding the gap.
Wow.
MINDING, minding the gap. And so remember, again, we spoke about MYOB, minding your own business. If you want to learn more about it, you can go back and look at other Facebook Lives that we've done. But I'm going to let you in on a little secret today. And so this is what we teach our 7-figure club members.
Yeah.
Right? And so we have a program that's called, many people don't know about it because really it's by invitation only. When people who are in the Born to Multiply program graduate, and I know, and they're requesting some more from us, we have a program that's called Born to Multiply Club Level Services. But what I tell my 7-figure club members is, how big is your want to? And so that really guides the principles of you being able to multiply or up level at an expanded rate. And so how big is your want to? And so I want to go over some of the, the 8 secret gauges, if you will, of what I teach them. And so, or indicators that will predict if you will be in the 7-figure club or not. Because a lot of people want it, but wanting it and being willing, and executing are totally 2 different things. And so, the 7-figure club, the 2 comma club, the extra 0 club, whatever you want to call it,
$1 million, baby,
over the next 12 months.
Right.
And so it's possible. But if you want to multiply your money in the next level, here are some secrets that, are important that literally I tell my high level clients all the time. And so these are what I call my level up and multiply secrets.
Come on now.
That's what I call
this
them.
This going to be a juicy money school with LaShawne.
This is going to be a juicy, and I have 15 minutes. So I don't know how juicy
I'm sure you'll do it. I'm sure you'll do it.
Number 1 is...
I can say this, you won't be done by 7:30, but go ahead. Y'all just get ready. She won't be done by 7:30.
I'm going to try.
But you want to get these 8. You want to stick around.
You want to bet me?
I'll bet you.
How much?
I don't know, $5.
No, I ain't
you cutting into your time.
You forgot who you was married to. Anyway, number 1 would be changing your beliefs. And so I believe this on every level. I hear people that may go through and read my book, Born to Multiply, and they're like, I got to change mindset, and I just smile, and I really don't say anything. Because if changing your mindset was that easy, everybody would have a growth mindset, and that's simply not true. And so number 1 will be changing your belief systems, because every level that you want to grow to, Dee said take your time, every level that you want to grow to actually requires you to have a different mindset, right?
Yep,
and so
good. And changing your beliefs alone is not enough, right? It's number 1, but we still got 2 through 8.
Yeah,
so
we got to.
That's not enough.
So number 1, life requires us to step back and figure out the truth, what the truth is, and then you believe that. And so we struggle so often with, if you grew up in a household where, your parents were buttholes and they just spoke negative stuff over you all the time. I mean, because not everybody has great parents.
Right.
They're always...
I was laughing at your choice of words.
Oh, that was a good word. I had another one I could have said. No, but
close call. That was close.
If you grew up in a household where they're not encouraging you, and they're not empowering you,
right.
And so not everybody grows up like that, but you have to discover what the truth is. If you grew up with your parents calling you names, even when you are heated at your child, it is never okay to call them names.
Yeah.
Like I was so conscious when I raised my kids have never, ever, ever heard me call them a name that's outside of their name.
Yep.
I don't believe in that, because I understand that your words have power.
Yeah.
And so I'm never going, and I also understand that one of my jobs as a mom was to help bring their call to life. Mm-hmm. And so you can't do that by killing it, killing the call, killing the vision with the words that you speak.
Wow.
And so that was very important to me. And so, but when you look at changing your beliefs, what are the most successful people that you know of right now? What do they believe that I don't believe?
Right.
Ask yourself that. What do they believe that I don't believe? What do they know that I don't know?
Yeah.
And so that's what you're investing in the gap in. You're investing in filling up that gap with the knowledge that successful people know that you may not know at that time. And then how much time have you spent in learning what's possible? How much time have you spent learning what's possible? Many times people don't understand their own teachability index. And if you don't know what that is, I'll actually post something after this live on teachability index, so you can know where you are, because a lot of times changing your beliefs doesn't just happen because you heard a speaker say something that excites you.
Right.
And so one of the things that I want to do, because I'm actually, everybody who's coming to Wealthy Revolution Live this year, praise the Lord, when we have it, are getting these cards. I have different cards. I always teach a different level of mindset, and that's not going to be different. Everybody got these custom cards made up. I apologize if you're not coming. No one else is coming. Like I cut off registration. But I wanted people to have something tangible. And I'm just going to go over one, because this is so important. Because a lot of times when I see a client, I go in and I see they're not making any movements around, I'll say, hey, what's going on? Where are you stuck?
Yeah.
And 100% of the time, it's with mindset most of the time. And so the paradox of indecision, when I talk about changing your belief systems, you know, everyone has something that they're struggling with mentally. Yeah. And so the paradox of like indecision, because most people won't make a decision. We're going to talk about decision in a minute. Yeah. But indecision is one of the few ways to actually waste time. Yes. Indecision provides no new information, only action does. My people who always say stay in motion, this is why I tell you to stay in motion. We think we're doing something when in indecision, when in reality we're doing nothing. You can't think your way into a right decision. While in indecision, we are in inaction, and it eliminates the possibility of life co-responding and co-creating with us.
No synergy.
The only wrong decision is indecision.
Wow.
And so then I teach you how to create new truths.
How to reframe it.
And so how do I create? And this is how you change your belief system, guys. The new truths are, remember I said, find out what's true and then believe what's true.
Right. Don't believe the lie that you've been told. It's time to reframe that.
Right.
That lie that you've made a truth.
Right. Yep. And so the new truths are, every decision I made has led me to a joy, a blessing, a gift, a person, or an experience that was absolutely perfect in its design. I've never made a mistake in my decisions. I'm amazed at how life co-responds with me. Every decision I make, the right decision. And so the truth is that the outcome that I really want can be achieved regardless of what decision I choose to make. Each new decision opens up a new path and new possibilities in an endless series of possibilities. I can make wise decisions and be confident that they will always produce the outcome necessary to create the life I want. That there is a wrong decision or that I may fail is a man-made illusion.
Wow.
I don't fail, I just regroup.
There you go.
I appreciate the freedom that I have to choose and that there is no right or wrong decision. I just decide.
I just decide.
Can you tell we actually live it?
Yep.
And those are creating new truths. Yep. And so, you know, that's how you change your belief system. Yep. And then number 2 is don't let your past sabotage your future. Don't let your past sabotage your future. When my daughter was learning how to drive, I'll never forget the first day we got in the car and she had one foot on the brake and one foot on the gas. And she was like, well, what do I do now? And if you've ever taught a teenager how to drive, you have those moments in your mind. You're thinking, what the freak did I just get myself into?
Wow. Yes.
Scared you, didn't I?
What did you just get yourself into?
What did I just get myself into? And I remember saying to her, well, the first thing you need to do is get your foot off the brake.
Yeah, one of those feet need to go away.
Get your foot off the brake.
Foots.
And so you can't move forward. And I told her, you can't move forward with your foot on the brake.
All right.
Take your foot off the brake. And so when you allow your past money mistakes to be held over your head, it keeps you from moving forward. You simply just got to take your foot up off the brake. Yeah. Forgive yourself for past money mistakes. Don't nobody care about that. They don't define who you are. Mistakes don't define who you are. You can heal the body. You can't heal the body without first healing the mind. Yep. And so, you can't heal the body without first healing your will and your emotions. So forgiveness is really how you free yourself from the internal prison that we put ourselves in.
And remember, you said it on that last call, right? Just make a decision.
Just make a decision. Just
decide. Just decide.
Just decide.
Yep.
Then number 3 is identity shift. Right? Yep. And so we think that doing the thing, doing something is what makes us, and that's simply not true. And so having the identity, putting on the mantle, it's not in your doing, it's just in your being. It's not in your doing, it's in your being. And so a lot of times people struggle with receiving that you are a wealthpreneur already. Yep. That is what Deuteronomy 8:18 was about. Right? He says, I've given you the power to get wealth.
Absolutely.
And so, listen, I don't know why we're struggling with identity shift with our identities. It's nothing that you can do to be that. You are that. You were that at the beginning of creation. And so you're the wealthpreneur, according to, even in Genesis, where it says, be fruitful and multiply and have dominion. Yeah. And so that is your identity. Remember, I just said, find out what's true and then believe the truth.
Yes. Find out some reframing.
You got to do some reframing. And so place the mantle of wealth in Deuteronomy 8:18 is when he placed the mantle of wealth upon us. And so, but you have to receive it. And so shift into a wealthpreneur or an entrepreneur for Black Wall Street 2.0. Shift into the 2 Comma Club member. Shift into, the 7-figure, whatever you want to call it, and own it.
Yep.
Own it. So you can go do the things that you need to do. I remember when I was very, very broke, like very, very broke. And I wasn't married yet. I was in college and my car was just horrible and it broke down all the time. And my grandfather told me once, he says, listen, even if you have to ride the bus, and I had to ride the MARC train back and forth from DC to Baltimore to school. My grandfather said, when you get on that bus, you get on that bus like you own the bus. Yeah. And so what was he doing? He was reshifting my identity because it wasn't where I was going to be forever because seasons change. Yeah. And so again, you have to receive that. Number 4 is real confidence. This is my favorite. This is going to take me over. Good thing I didn't bet.
Yeah, because you only got 5 minutes. You going to owe me $5.
No, I'm not owing you anything.
I want my $5.
No, I got something. Real confidence. Real confidence comes from a sense of certainty.
Wow.
And, the root word for confidence is confide. And so a lot of times people don't move forward because they really lack confidence to move forward. You know you're good at doing something, but you're afraid to tell someone that you're good at doing it.
Wow.
You're afraid to promote your business online. And so you dibble and dabble and you make $100 there and $50 here. And, you always volunteer to do something for free. And, that...
And more than likely, there's a lie that you've allowed to become a truth in your life.
Right.
That, as a result, yields a lack of confidence.
Right.
Yep.
Right, absolutely. And so, again, real confidence comes from a sense of certainty. And so the root word for confidence is confide. And so confide means to trust.
Wow.
Listen, this is eye-opening here. Confide means to trust. And so people who have confidence trust themselves, right? And so we've discussed this before. And so they trust the process. They trust the system. They trust the outcomes. One of the reasons that made it so easy for me to do business, and I've been doing business since I was selling t-shirts in high school and designing tennis shoes and selling them in high school. But one of the reasons that I always had that confidence is because not only did my grandfather instill a great sense of confidence in myself and for me to be able to believe in myself, I had done things, accomplished things, and I never let myself down by not doing it. And so you got to trust the process, trust the system, and trust the outcomes. So it's easy for me to go into a business venture because I know me.
Yeah.
Right? You have to know you. And so if you lack confidence, you need to get to the root cause of it. And the root is not trusting yourself. And the reason you don't trust yourself is because you've broken your word to yourself so many times that you no longer believe it.
Wow.
And so that's the root cause of not having self-confidence. You no longer trust yourself. And the reason you no longer trust yourself is because you've broken your own word to yourself so many times that you no longer believe it. And so people make choices, and then there's a difference between a choice and a decision. There's a difference between a choice and decision. And so we need to start making decisions and stop making choices. And I'm going to tell you the powerfulness of making a decision, making a great decision. And so, you know, when you look at contracts, right?
Beyond just said, you need you. Absolutely.
Yeah, I need me.
Yep.
And so when you look at contracts were created because of distrust. Right? You don't trust the other person to do what they said that they were going to do. And so you need this contract where both of you guys sign it.
Yep.
And so here are the consequences if you don't do what you say you're going to do. Right. And so the contract definition is an agreement between two people based on a mutual distrust. Based on a mutual distrust.
Yeah.
And so have you ever wondered why the Bible doesn't talk about contracts? It only talks about covenant. It only talks about covenant. And so when you think about what a covenant is, you know, God had a covenant with Abraham. He made a covenant with Noah. He made a covenant with David. Yeah. Right? And so when the Bible says that, listen, I've searched the earth everywhere, and I couldn't find anybody else, so I swear by my own name that I can do what I said I was going to do. So he goes into a covenant with Abraham, he goes into a covenant with Noah, he goes into a covenant with David, and this is what it means. Like, okay, this is why marriage, the covenant of marriage, is so important. And so we're going to listen. This is Texas Pete. Texas Pete is going to represent blood here because I'm not cutting myself for this demonstration.
And we're not using Tabasco.
I don't like Tabasco. So, you know, when you think about it, I'm in covenant with Rob. Rob is in covenant with me. Yep. And so in the Bible, they would, you know, someone was cut, right? You were cut. No, give me that other hand. Cut the other hand.
Cutting this hand.
This your right hand. Right? Show your blood. Show your blood. And so I cut my hand. And so there's a ritual when we cut our hands, we put our hands together. Don't spill this hot sauce on my Mastercraft desk. So when we put our hands together, the blood intertwines, and so there's a whole ritual in the Bible where they walk around the sacrifice and all that other stuff, but what they are really saying is, for the rest of my life and for every generation that comes out of me, I am in covenant with you and you are in covenant with me.
Amen.
And so what happens is we don't have covenants with ourselves. And because we don't have covenants with ourselves, we're not trusting ourselves. And so, you know, it's very important for us to understand that the covenant says, I would rather die in honor than to live in dishonor.
Wow.
And covenants are generational. And so when you don't have the confidence in yourself, you're not trusting yourself, you pass that down to your kids. I look at, you know, Rob and I used to say this all the time with our kids when they were younger, and we would watch them walk across their campuses, being the only African American a lot of times. And we will always say how proud they walked with their hands, their heads held high. That comes from them being taught that. Growing up, they grew up in a household. Matter of fact, one of the tattoos Jonathan has on his chest is "I bow to no man." And so they grew up with a level of confidence, a level of trusting in themselves. And so we need that to be able to trust in ourselves. And covenants are generational. And so real confidence is when you make a real decision. Make a real decision to trust in yourself. And so a real decision means to enter into a covenant with yourself. It's not just a decision, making it just to, something haphazard. I'd rather die in honor. That reminds me of Wakanda. When he says, listen, when he was on the side of the mountain and they was like, look, just bow down or whatever. And he was like, look, I'm not bowing down. He was like, I'd rather live something than die on my knees. But that was a powerful moment. Anyway, getting back to what I was teaching. A real decision means to enter into a covenant with yourself that you would rather die in honor instead of living in dishonor. And so it's dishonor to break your word to yourself.
It's dishonor not to make a decision to move forward.
And so we need to make more decisions.
Instead of choices. Choices give you the ability to opt out. Whereas a decision is covenant.
Can I say what you said last week about the boat?
Yeah, you can say it.
So we were having a discussion about this. I can't remember were we with a client or not. When Rob was like, just, if you want to rule the island, burn the damn boat.
No, I didn't know you was going to say that part.
And so,
but it's about making a decision, right? If you're gonna make a decision to be all in on something, and as an analogy, we used an island. So you got to take a boat to that island. Once you get to that island, burn the boat.
Burn the boat.
Because there is no turning back.
Right.
We're making a decision, not a choice.
And so number 5 is your tribe. And so this is another good lesson. And so this right here set me free when I learned this. This set me free. And so your tribe. You owe
me $5. Go ahead. It's $7.35. $5 for every minute over.
I ain't giving you no money. So your tribe shouldn't make you play small or shrink back. That's good. It's a tragedy, really, when you have people that you love who may not see the call that's on your life. There's a tragedy when, you have people that you love and they don't see the vision that you see. They don't see what's possible for you. They don't see, or they wasn't there. They don't hear what God told you or see what you're created to be. And so they try to abort the gifts.
I would even say they're not really a part of your tribe.
No, but we're going to get into that because remember we're talking about the people, we put people in these categories. And so, they don't see what you were created to be because you weren't at creation, right? They weren't at creation. And so they try to abort the gifts on the inside of you, some knowingly, some ignorantly, right? But people can try to do that. But there are 3 kinds of people. And if you can understand where people fit in your life, number 1, they're toxic people. Nobody needs toxic people in your life. They're the negative Nancy's. They're the people with a closed mindset.
They're the ones you boot out the tribe.
Look, I ain't got nothing for you. Just get out. The second type of people really is what's called the left-hand people, right? And so left-handed people, really, this is your tribe. And so they're the ones that grow with you. They're the ones that pull you up. That's good. If they go ahead and they see, hey, there's milk and honey over there. There's money to be made. There's personal development over here. Let's go get it. They pull you up with them. Right? Those are your left-handed people. They pull you up to your next level. And so they cheer you on. They volunteer to help you. They support you. They hold you accountable to your dreams. And they are also there to be a soft place for you to land. Yeah. If you have friends that cannot be a soft place for you to land, then they're not the left-handed people. The right-hand people really are your family and your friends. And so they're not on the personal development, path with you. It doesn't make them bad people. The pain comes in those relationships when you don't know which hand you're in.
Right.
Right? And so now in my mind, the people that I'm closest to, where it used to torment me, I don't understand why don't they want more money? Why do they want to live an average life? Why do they blah blah blah? Why? It was driving me crazy. And so a mentor was like, look, you need to learn how to put people in its right place so you can maintain the relationship. And so now I know who my right-handed people are. They're okay with being like they are.
Right. Just don't try to make them left-handed.
Just don't try to make them left-handed.
Right. That's not the interaction.
And learn how to nourish, and cultivate the left-handed relationships, because you need that on your journey to wealth.
Absolutely.
And know which hand you're in with people in your circle. Know your role.
Yep.
Know your role. Number 6 is understanding what money is, right? Money is a tool. And so dollars follow value. I just had this conversation today with my daughter. Dollars follow value. Dollars do not perceive value.
All right.
It doesn't perceive value. And so you have to learn, if you want to create Black Wall Street 2.0, create value and then put a price tag on it and sell it.
That's great.
That's
a whole live in and of itself.
It really is. I probably should.
That's a whole money school.
I probably should go, but I got 2 more. I'm going to run through this. But number 7, just in time learning. This was one of my other favorites that I wanted to teach.
Because this one helped me right here.
I see so many people when I have strategy sessions with them. One of the biggest thing is they think they need to know everything. And so just in time learning really is a concept that we had to be taught.
Yes, we did.
Right? And so one of the things that I noticed when I worked in corporate America, which was many years ago, was the role of the CEO. Now, back then, I paid attention because I thought back then wealth wasn't even on my mind.
Right.
I was going to take her job. Like that's just my honest truth. I watched the CEO because I was like, yeah, I'm watching her because I'm coming after your job. Hey. Right? And so I paid attention again because I was planning on being in that seat one day. And CEOs do things to really amplify your time, right? They declare the goals of the company. And you can do this with your life. You can declare the goals with your family. You can do it with your business. You can do it with your relationships. Like, what are your goals? And what are your goals? And you should be able to see your goals daily. And then 2, they learn to have extreme honesty with where the company is, where they are, and then they own it. Right? They own it. They don't make excuses for it. And so in your life, where are the places that you're making excuses of why you're not getting something done? And so you have to have brutal honesty with yourself about where you are. And, and in doing that, and then the concept of just-in-time learning, you only need to learn the step that's right in front of you.
That's right.
People all the time, why are you asking me about step 4, 5, and 6, and you haven't even done step 1?
Right.
You don't need to know 4, 5, and 6 because you may be so overwhelmed by 4, 5, and 6 that you never keep going.
And that's what set me free. Just in time learning will keep you from moving into overwhelm. Because overwhelm sets in when you look at the big picture and everything that needs to be done.
Right.
And you're trying to figure out in your mind how to get it done. Just in time learning helps you to focus on the next step,
right,
not on the long-term goal.
Right.
And
so again, the other day I told the client, you don't need to see the entire route to prosper. When God told Abraham to leave, he didn't even tell him where he was going. He was like, just leave and I'll tell you where you're going. I just need your corresponding action.
Take the next step.
I need you to take the next step. I need you to execute what I told you, and then I'll give you your next step. I don't need to give you all of your steps if you haven't been obedient to the first step.
Yeah, that's right.
And so again, that's what I told the client. And so you just need the next route. And so stop worrying about steps 4, 5, 6, and 7 when you haven't even taken the first step yet. And so you can put all the books down. If you don't have a step to take, then you pick up and you got time to read.
Right.
But, again, I said that, I think I may have said this last week. There was a man who used to always follow me. He would say, what books are you reading? It was like he was in a race with me, right? I've already read that. Oh, I read that too. I read that too. And I'm thinking, dude, but you're still broke. So you didn't apply anything to your life. And so, what is the one problem you need to solve right now?
And with the age that we live in, you can go Google it and get the answer, right? It might not be free. It may cost you to buy a class. But with the age that we live in, it is so easy to get information for that next step.
It really is. And you need to know what model you're following. Who has done what you want to do? Yeah. Do you know their model? Have you invested in their model? You know, do you want to build cars? Whose model are you following? I'm not going to follow somebody. You know, I got Ford, or what's that show we watched? Ford and Ferrari or whatever. You know, I'm not going to follow I'm not going to follow Phil Knight, who produces Nike tennis shoes, if I want to open up a car manufacturing business. Right. Like, what model, what coaching model, what weight loss model? I'm not going to listen to somebody who's fat and out of shape to tell me that how to lose weight, right?
Because they haven't figured it out yet.
Because they haven't figured it out. Yeah. I'm not going to listen to a health and wellness coach that has diabetes.
Right.
Like, no, you conquer that and then come teach me.
Right.
Right. And so, you know, these steps will increase your movement the most. And then the last one is who, not how, which goes into what you just said. Yeah. And so a lot of times, very, very often, we see this all the time, even with entrepreneurs. Most entrepreneurs fail because they either run out of time, or they run out of money, or they do both. You know?
The burnout is real.
The burnout is real. Yep. And procrastination kills vision. Yeah. And so we procrastinate because we don't know the who's that can help us build. Right. We procrastinate because we don't know the who's who can help us build. Instead, we waste time in trying to learn everything ourselves. How to do everything. Yep. And so that just burns you out. You need to understand the who and not necessarily the how. Yep. And so even when you work on your job, one of the reasons was always one of the highest paid at the jobs that I work is because I understood this principle, right? I understood this principle. And actually my former assistant probably may be on here, and she will tell you this is how I operated in leadership. You know, I understood the principle of the most important person I need to know is the who and not the how. Right. And so even again, if you're working on a job right now, you know, you have to understand this principle. I didn't waste time learning all the things that I needed to know. I spent my time finding the best in the industry and what was needed at the time, and then I engaged their services. Yep. And so I learned this principle early on. I didn't need to always be the smartest person in the room. Right. I just needed access to the person who knew how to do it. And so a lot of times we waste time because we want to do everything ourselves. You think you're saving money, but you're not. Every hour, every day, every week, every month that you spend time not learning, you're struggling and doing all the pieces to what you want to do, it is costing you money. That's right. Because with that, you could have paid someone to do it for you and been up and running and
got your business online and have your phone dinging because you're making money.
And have your phone dinging because you're making money. You will always go down the how road and get stuck. Yeah. Every time you go down the how road and you're trying to figure everything out yourself, you will always get stuck. Yeah. 12 months go by, you're in the same place. 18 months go by, you're in the same place. 24 months go by, you're in the same place. 36 months go by, the same. Before you know it, years have gone by and you're still in the same place. And so who can help you create a business? Who can help you create a product? Who can help you create copy? Who can help you with marketing automation? Who can help you in your business? And so who are the people that have the tags, the talents, the abilities, the gifts to be able to help you? And so trying to be all things to all people in business doesn't cause growth. Nope. It doesn't. It causes stagnation.
Yep. Frustration.
And
like you said, you'll run out of time or money or both. Before you get it done. And one of the things I think that needs to become more prevalent in our culture is we need to learn how to barter. Right? Absolutely. Because we bring skills to the table, right? So let's say, for instance,
you have to have something worth bartering.
You got to have something worth bartering, right? But let's say I'm building a website. You're great at writing copy. I'm great at designing the website.
Right.
Right? You and I could partner together, and I say, you know what, LaShawne, I'll build your website. if you write the copy for mine.
Right.
So now we're trading services where it's not costing us anything besides doing the job that we normally do.
Right.
But we're both getting something from it that benefits our business and backfills a weakness that we have.
Right.
So we need to learn how to barter in our culture. Find somebody who can do the marketing. And like LaShawne said, you want to find somebody who's good.
And but I agree with that.
Yep.
I do believe in bartering, but I also believe in you being willing to pay somebody. The Bible says a workman is worthy of his hire.
Yep.
And so a lot of times, and we talked about it, free people.
Freeple people.
Freeple people.
They want everything for free.
Yeah, freeple people, cheaper people. And so you don't want to be a part of that community where you're expected everything for free. Bring value to the table.
Absolutely.
One of the things I had this conversation today with our daughter is you don't get paid by the hour, you get paid by the value that you bring to the hour. And so if you want to learn how to increase, learn how to increase your value. And so that's all I have for you today. Actually, I could keep talking, but the cheap way is not always the best way. Exactly. Especially if the person don't know what they're doing. And I'm going to give you an example of that. A couple years ago, this is why I don't do business with church people. I know you may get upset. Don't even inbox me because I don't even care. That is something that my husband, because we've been burned over and over and over again. Right? And so we hire this particular guy to do an AV. So this was years ago on my Money Made Easy tour.
Yes.
This was on my Money Made Easy tour. So he came up with a contract because he didn't trust me. No, just like he came up with a contract. I signed the contract. We agreed on a certain
should have been the other way around. Maybe we should have came up with the contract. But anyway.
Listen, so he needed upfront money because he had to go buy a camera. That should have been my first red flag.
Red flag, baby.
And so, anyway, we gave him that. He bought the camera. Now, he traveled everywhere that we travel. I like to stay in boutique 5-star hotels. He stayed with us. I paid for him to stay with us. When Rob and I went out to, nice restaurants to eat, listen, he was there ordering filet mignon,
was eating good.
wine. We weren't even drinking, and dude, you ordering wine. Anyway, he living it up. I'm teaching my heart out at this particular place in Charlotte. We were at the Ballantine in Charlotte. Dude wasn't even recording the session. He was out on the golf course taking pictures. Y'all know I wanted to come up off of that stage and hit him with my shoe on that golf course.
All help ain't good help.
All help ain't good help. And so just know that, and then weeks, months went by and we never got the video. He was interviewing people. He never got the video because he didn't know how to work the camera.
We should have paid a professional, not an amateur.
Bartering.
Right. Once burned is once learned. Trust me, we'll never do that again.
And so now I'm asking you, listen, I want to see some references.
Absolutely.
Like, I want to speak to the people that because you can write a bunch of references down on a piece of paper. Nope, give me their number. I want to pick up the phone and call them. And so when people want to join my community, I don't have a problem with letting you speak with people that have already gotten results inside of my community because I know I deliver value.
Absolutely.
So anyway, that was my 2 cents on bartering. Make sure you know who you bartering with. So anyway, love you guys. I look forward to.
Hope you enjoyed this. Share with your friends.
LaShawne Holland helped me, so I do have the tags.
She got the tags. It's not the best way, right?
Absolutely, right. And so you guys go ahead and enjoy the rest of your Monday evening. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Money School, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
Bye-bye.